What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. This is part 2 of Pan-Africanism does not require or need parity, for clarification. So this is going to be an essay that I put together with citations, okay, right? And so that you can see who said what, all right? Because y'all know when I make an argument, I like to back it up, you know, with evidence, right? So you'll hear that in this essay. So enjoy the essay. This is a follow-up from the previous video that I made that says Pan-Africanism does not require parity. This is part 2. So anyway, enjoy the essay and let me know in the comment section if I have made the argument, right? Because, you know, we have this argument going on. Let me know how I'm doing making the argument for Pan-Africanism and global black unity. Anyway, tell me what you think in the comment section. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
Pan-Africanism does not require parity to work. One of the most common misconceptions about Pan-Africanism is the belief that it cannot succeed unless every African-descended community reaches some imagined state of equality before cooperation begins. According to this view, everyone must possess equal economic power, equal political influence, equal historical experiences, equal educational attainment, or equal cultural development before unity becomes possible. This argument sounds reasonable on the surface, but it collapses under historical examination, political philosophy, economics, and systems theory. No successful civilization, nation, military alliance, or economic partnership has ever required perfect parity among its members before cooperation could begin. Pan-Africanism is no different. The question has never been whether African Americans, continental Africans, Afro-Caribbeans, Afro-Latin Americans, or other members of the African diaspora are identical. They are not. The real question is whether different people with overlapping interests can build something greater together than they could build separately. History answers that question with a resounding yes. The very foundation of Pan-Africanism rests on a simple observation: people do not need identical journeys in order to pursue a common destination. Kwame Nkrumah, the first prime minister and later president of independent Ghana, captured this idea when he wrote, "The forces that unite us are intrinsic and greater than the superimposed influences that keep us apart." Kwame Nkrumah, Africa must unite. Notice what Nkrumah did not say. He did not argue that every African nation first had to become equally wealthy. He did not argue that every society had to develop identical political institutions. He did not argue that every community had to erase its unique history before unity could begin. Instead, he argued that the things binding African peoples together were stronger than the forces dividing them. That distinction matters. Far too often, people confuse equality of human worth with equality of circumstance. These are not the same thing. Every human being possesses equal dignity. Every community deserves equal respect. But no serious historian would argue that every African-descended population has lived the same history. African Americans emerged through slavery and centuries of segregation in the United States. Jamaicans experienced British colonial rule under different legal systems. Haitians became the first black republic through revolution. Brazilians inherited Portuguese colonial institutions. Nigerians experienced British indirect rule. South Africans endured apartheid. Ghanaians led one of Africa's earliest successful independence movements. These are different historical experiences. Different histories naturally produce different cultures, institutions, economies, political traditions, and social realities. Expecting complete parity after hundreds of years of divergent historical development is neither realistic nor historically informed. More importantly, it has never been necessary. Consider the United States. The original 13 colonies were never equal. Virginia was not Rhode Island. Massachusetts did not resemble Georgia. Population, industry, wealth, agriculture, religion, and political culture differed dramatically. Yet they formed a union because shared interests outweighed their differences. Or consider the European Union. Germany and Luxembourg are vastly different in economic scale. Greece and Sweden have different political histories, languages, and economic structures, yet cooperation continues because mutual benefit is greater than perfect similarity. The same is true of NATO. Not every member contributes the same number of soldiers. Not every member spends the same amount on defense. Not every nation possesses the same technology. Yet the alliance functions because members contribute according to their capacities. No one seriously argues that NATO should dissolve because parity does not exist. So why should Pan-Africanism be held to a standard that virtually no successful alliance has ever met? Economics offers another answer. In 1817, economist David Ricardo introduced the principle of comparative advantage on the principles of political economy and taxation. His insight changed economics forever. Ricardo demonstrated that nations do not benefit from trade because they are identical. They benefit precisely because they are different. Different strengths create opportunities for exchange. Specialization increases total prosperity. The lesson extends beyond economics. Communities also possess comparative advantages. Some lead in finance, some lead in technology, some excel in agriculture. Others excel in education, diplomacy, entertainment, medicine, manufacturing, engineering, or entrepreneurship. Differences are not evidence of weakness. Properly organized, they become strengths. African Americans have developed extraordinary influence in media, music, sports, law, entrepreneurship, and higher education. Nigeria has become one of Africa's largest entrepreneurial economies. Kenya has pioneered mobile banking innovations. South Africa possesses some of the continent's most developed industrial infrastructure. Ghana has often played an important diplomatic role in Pan-African affairs. Caribbean nations have had a global cultural impact that far exceeds their population size. None of these contributions must be identical to be valuable. Complementarity, not parity, is what creates strength. Political philosopher Benedict Anderson described nations as imagined communities, arguing that national identity is built around shared purpose rather than identical personal experiences. The same principle applies here. Pan-Africanism is not built on sameness. It is built on shared purpose. Likewise, philosopher Amartya Sen argued in Development as Freedom that societies should focus on expanding people's capabilities rather than forcing identical outcomes. Justice does not require everyone to become the same. It requires creating opportunities for everyone to flourish. Systems theory reaches a remarkably similar conclusion. Healthy systems rarely consist of identical parts. The human body does not require every organ to perform the same function. The brain does not behave like the heart. The lungs do not behave like the liver. The eyes do not perform the work of the kidneys. Yet together, they create something no individual organ could achieve alone. Their differences are precisely what make life possible. Civilizations function the same way. Strong organizations function the same way. Healthy economies function the same way. Successful alliances function the same way. Diversity of function produces resilience. Uniformity produces fragility. This is why demanding parity before cooperation often becomes self-defeating. If people insist on waiting until every community reaches identical economic, educational, political, and cultural conditions before working together, cooperation never begins. Unity becomes permanently postponed. History offers no evidence that such an approach succeeds. Instead, successful movements begin where people are. They build trust. They establish institutions. They create networks. They exchange ideas. They invest in one another. And over time, those relationships reduce disparities rather than requiring disparities to disappear first. Julius Nyerere expressed this beautifully when he observed, "Unity will not make us rich, but it can make it difficult for Africa to be disregarded and humiliated." Julius Nyerere, addressed to the Organization of African Unity. Notice the sequence. Unity comes first, strength follows, not the other way around. Perhaps the greatest misunderstanding surrounding Pan-Africanism is the belief that unity requires uniformity. It does not. Unity simply requires agreement on enough shared interests to justify cooperation. Families are not identical. Businesses are not identical. States are not identical. Nations are not identical. Civilizations are not identical. Yet cooperation remains one of humanity's greatest competitive advantages. Marcus Garvey reminded us, "A people without the knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots." Marcus Garvey, Philosophy and Opinions of Marcus Garvey. Understanding history should never become an excuse for permanent division. It should become the foundation for wiser cooperation. The future of Pan-Africanism will not depend on whether every African-descended community becomes identical. That day will never come, nor should it. Our different histories are part of our collective inheritance. Our different experiences are part of our collective knowledge. Our different strengths are part of our collective potential. The goal has never been sameness. The goal has always been solidarity, not identical histories, but shared aspirations, not equal circumstances, but equal dignity, not perfect parity, but mutual commitment. The lesson history teaches repeatedly is simple. Great alliances are not built because everyone brings the same thing to the table. They endure because everyone brings something valuable to the table. Pan-Africanism is no exception. Its future will not be determined by perfect equality of circumstance. It will be determined by whether people of African descent recognize that cooperation across differences has always been more powerful than division based upon them. That is not merely an inspiring idea. History suggests it is one of the most practical lessons humanity has ever learned.
I'm so pro-black, you can't get me to involve myself in diaspora wars. I'm every nigga on this earth. I'm African, I'm Caribbean, I'm Afro-Latina, I'm Afro-European. If you're a nigga, I am you, you are me. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. You're me, you're me, I'm you. I don't know.
Yep, time to go. That motherfucker coming over here. Ooh, shit. Hey, Carlo, bitch, look behind you. Ooh, shit, motherfucker.
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan!
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.